All the way back. We've been working side controls. Side control, side control. Let's attack from the top now, okay? We spent all last week escaping from this position. If I have full-blown chest-to-chest side control on my opponent, what's his most likely frame, statistically speaking?
Right arm.
Yeah, it would be his right arm. You get that close side elbow. By virtue of that, it's super annoying. Any attack or advancement of position here is going to be drastically reduced just by virtue of him having a frame in, because every time I move, he's going to make spaces and recover the guard, okay? So, let's deal with that first, okay? I want to say, number one, preventing your opponent from getting frames in is the best option, but sometimes shit happens, right? When they get one frame in, prevent any other frames from coming in. I'm keeping my head glued and I'm turning my head this way. My head is going to stay tight this entire time, okay? So, he's got his right elbow in. I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to grab the tip of his elbow, the end of the lever, here, okay? End of a folded lever in this case. From here, I step my left foot up and I turn my hips like a key as I glue my own arm to my body. I cannot stress this enough. Give me a lot of resistance. I'm not pulling his elbow out of position. That's never gonna work. I'm turning my body, here. And I slide my right leg underneath until I'm touching his head. Now look where his arm is. It's still a frame, but it's no longer in a good position, here. And I'm now underneath his arm. From here, I continue to pull his arm. If I just switch to my knees here, that frame's gonna come back in. So I'm gonna switch my knees in a smart way. My back knee comes forward, and now as I continue to pull his arm, I maintain contact with my knees to his body, and now we get back to my side control here, okay? He's gonna put the frame back in, boom. I grab the tip of his elbow, again, do not muscle it. So person on the bottom, I want you to give your partner significant resistance from here. I turn my leg up and I turn my hips like a key, so my bottom leg slides under. Here, now I'm not muscling it anymore. From here, switch my legs and get back to that side control pin here. Another option is, he gets that frame inside, I do the same thing. I turn my body, I get slightly underneath his arm, but instead of going all the way to side control, I'm just gonna push his arm between my legs, and now I come up with his arms pinned in between my body. Okay? Any questions? So we're gonna play the same games that we did last week. Person on the bottom, I want you to get that close side frame in, give a little bit of resistance. Person on top, you either have to fish that frame out by turning your hips like a key, or get it back in between your legs. Either way, I want you to end up in side control. Cool? All right, on three. 1, 2, 3. On its close side leg, again, I don't care how you do it. You manage to establish a pin here, and you manage to get a figure 4 on the far side. We went over the high key lock yesterday, like when they're weighted high. So we're gonna go over the low key lock today, okay? You got the figure 4, low key lock on your opponent's far arm. Try and keep your opponent's arm bent. Ideally 90 degrees or less. It's gonna be a little bit difficult because your arm is also acting like a brace between you and their body. However, I do not want him to straighten his arm out without my control. There is like a straight arm lock from here. Chances of getting it are not high, okay? From here, if you're a beginner, this is all I want. Your bottom leg is gonna come up underneath your opponent's armpit. Your top leg is gonna come over your opponent's head. Using your foot, not your body, using the power of your leg, you're going to push off the floor and roll your opponent onto their side and then glue your legs together here. Okay? From here, oh sorry Chris, you're good? From here, don't get the Kimura yet. I want to maximize the amount of pressure on his rotator cuff. I'm literally gonna glue his elbow to my body, deadlift him off the floor. I'm literally picking him off the floor, creating as much tension in that joint as possible. And then I turn my entire body for the finish. Okay? Yeah. Okay, let's look at that from the beginning. From here, from here, you pin that arm however you can. Okay? From here, I'm gonna get a low key lock on my opponent. Boom. Keep that arm bent as much as possible. Bottom knee comes up to the armpit, top leg comes over. Using the power of my foot, right? I'm not just picking up my body here, it's impossible. Using the power of my foot, I'm going to push off the floor, roll my opponent to the side, and sandwich my legs together. From here, lift your opponent off the floor and turn for the finish. Cool? This is the most basic Kimura that I can show you. This is probably not how you're gonna finish it as you get more advanced in rank, okay? If you guys already know that, let's go for the power version. So again, same thing. You pinned your opponent's close side arm, and you got a figure 4 on your opponent's far side arm here. You can stop in the middle for the figure 4, or you can go directly to the power grip. From here, The arm that's around his elbow is going to grab your delt here. The arm that's around his wrist, that armpit is going to go to your opponent's wrist here. And you're going to grab your own tricep. From here, it's kind of hard to finish. So I'm actually going to run north-south as I lift my own top side arm up. So from here, I start to run north-south. And as I get my body on the same side of my arm, or his arm, I start to turn up for the finish. Here, okay? Again, one more time. So you start chest to chest side control. Pin the arm however you can, right? Same thing. I start to go for the low key lock, but maybe I miss it, and I go directly for the power grip here. I can't finish it from here because I have no lift. So I'm going to start to walk my body north-south until my head and my body are on the same side of his body. Now I can start to turn and bring that arm up for the finish. Any questions? So if you don't know that version, just stick to the regular figure 4 one. Cool? All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go!
Welcome back, guys. We're going to side control attacks. We got Rick on top here. He's a blue belt, but he's very close to purple belt. And Ant on the bottom here is a new white belt. So Rick's heavy pressure, doing a good job. Oh, it's okay. So here, Ant has an elbow in. I don't really know what he's doing with his far arm, but ideally he has it across Rick's neck there. I don't think he does. Rick doing a good job keeping Ant flat on his back. And of course, as soon as I say that, Ant gets on his side. So let's see what just happened here. Ant went to go bridge. And Rick, instead of fighting that posture, switches to north-south and eventually side control on the other side. Smart decision. I'd like to see Rick's arm on the other side of Ant's head, cross-facing him this way to get Ant flat on his back here. Ant doing a good job of keeping his hands to one side of his body and trying to turn to his side. There we go. Now Rick's got the crossface. Let's see if we can isolate that arm. Settles from out. I forget what the parameters of this drill were. I don't know if we were just working side control or if they were also, excuse me, also allowed to advance in the mount position. I'd imagine I'd let them advance in the mount, unless we were going super specific with the positional training. Keeping Ant flat. Okay, now he's got the arm kind of isolated. Might be able to go for high key lock from here. Yep, which he does, and I'm assuming he gets it. Got Ernest on top, Zach on the bottom. Zach manages to get a knee shield here. Ernest has lost side control, but I would consider it a guard position for sure. Oh, Ernest going for his own attack from the bottom. Interesting. See how this works out. Looks like Ernest got his hands connected. Might use it to pass. He might get countered here, though. I don't think Zach knows the Kimura trap, or else now would be a perfect time to use it. There we go. Ernest gets all the way to the other side. Counter armbar. Oh, misses it. Not exactly a side control, but it's pretty exciting, so I'll let it go. Still fighting for that grip. He's also got like a neck scissor choke there, but I don't think he got it. Got Blaine on the top and Chris on the bottom here. Blaine's doing a good job keeping that shoulder on the ground. I'd like to see his forehead on the ground, like completely intentional. Get your forehead on the ground. As long as your butt isn't rising up and over, try and keep that forehead on the ground. Doing a great job keeping Chris pinned. Again, most of your submission attacks from the top will start with an effective pin, which is what we're looking for now. You can advance in position, that's fine, but it's got to start with the pin. Oh, and good recovery by Chris. Got Khaled on top, Jacob on the bottom. Khaled trying to isolate that arm, trying to get that good side control pin. Or they're going to get kicked in the head by the other team. Oh yeah, I think I reset him here. Oh, okay, Jacob gets his arms in, but he's still pinned. Cal is significantly bigger / stronger. Oh, good recovery by Jacob. Got Khaled on the bottom and Jacob on top. Jacob gets that Kimura grip. Very nice. Now, okay, we run into a problem. He might be able to finish it from here, but it'd be a lot better if he could step that leg over. I think he'll finish it from here. I think Khaled's letting him work. But, and I've run into this problem at a tournament before, where your opponent knows that you need to step over. Because maybe you're not strong enough to finish it from this position. You can't quite hip switch. So they'll use this arm to prevent you from stepping over. Let's see how Jacob deals with it. Okay, switches to base. And he has to let go. Yeah. So again, let's look at the exact moment where if he switches to base, he might be able to get the Kimura. Because look, now Khaled's back starts to lift off the ground. However, we saw as he switches to base here, he also broke contact with his own arm here. Let me rewind it a second. See if we could see it. Look at the real-time switches. Boom. Oh, I don't know what happened first. I don't know whether he lost the grip first and then he switched his base. That might have been the issue. Pat and Rick run it back. Pat on top again. You're looking for that isolation. Rick doing a good job keeping his left elbow in. Pat sneakily advances to knee on belly. I didn't even notice that. So now would be a pretty good time, if you can, to attack this leg. Oh, sorry, that arm with this leg here. A couple ways you could do it. Let me get rid of that clicker. You could bring your knee up and over into that little pocket here and start to create isolation. You could bring your foot up and over into that little pocket, start to create isolation. Nothing is guaranteed because grip has a full 5-finger grip on your bottom leg, but it is an option. Good recovery by Rick. And that started because, look at Rick's far arm. Boom. He manages to peek this underhook through. Now he's in a pretty good position. He could turn to his side without being in too much danger of being countered. Gets the half guard. Turns to the side. Oh, Pat drops back for a guillotine. Don't know if he has it. Nah, he's out. And very good Rick. Advances into the body lock. Got Aiden on top and Rick on the bottom. Oh, let's look at that little maneuver right there. So, as Aiden goes to bother Rick's close side elbow, he forgets the integrity of his head, lifts it up, and Rick is very easily able to get that second frame in. Here, that little window, boom. So again, keep your head pinned to the ground. Got caught in a half guard roll right there. They're running back. Doing a better job keeping his head low. Okay. That was smooth. Obviously, Rick letting him work a little bit. Gonna switch his legs, maybe not. Can't quite tell what he's doing on the far arm. Oh, okay, looks like he's got a Kimura grip. There we go. That was very good. Again, not much resistance behind it, but that was pretty good. Got Pat on top and Rick on the bottom here. Pat is a Daniel Gracie black belt. He's been coming to our school like once every week. Definitely upgrading the room. So Pat's got both arms on. Oh, no, there we go. Now he's starting to attack that close side arm. He's got a really good underhook on the forearm. There we go. Traps the close side arm. Look how deep his left arm is. Anytime you get an underhook on your opponent, yeah, your whole goal is to keep him pinned from side control. So don't have that underhook shallow. Have it deep like Pat is. And now he doubles up with his arms. Got the arm trap. Oh, Rick just freed it. Rick doing a good job staying alive. Oh, Pat's got the... Oh, that was very good. Let's go back and look at that. Rick freed his arm, but he was on his side, so that allowed Pat to get a Kimura. Yep, isolates the arm. Boom. But Rick manages to spin backwards and get his back flat on the mat, sacrificing the position in order to keep from getting submitted, in which case was a good call. Gets the Kimura grip again. He's doing a good... So Rick is doing a good job. Even though his arm is in danger, he's doing a good job doubling up on Pat's leg. So Pat doesn't really have a good base to attack from. he might be able to get a Kimura grip on Rick's arm, but he wouldn't really be in a good position to finish because his base is up. In fact, that's exactly what happened. He went for the Kimura, which is not necessarily a bad call. So he's got like kind of he goes for the Kimura grip here. Rick recognizes the danger, doubles up on Pat's right leg. Instead of trying to go flat to his back again or break the grip, he decides to throw Pat's base in the air up and over. Not necessarily a sweep, but in this case, Pat couldn't recover, and he manages to get reversed here. In all honesty, I would have made the same decision. I would probably stuck with that Kimura. Zach on top, Aiden on the bottom. Okay, trying to look for that position underneath Aiden's elbow. Okay, managed to get isolated. Got to get his legs away from Aiden's legs. Rotating like a bad Benny Hill sketch here. Oh, Aiden might get caught in an armbar from here. He's turned too much away from his opponent. Okay, he didn't get caught in an armbar, but he did get settled into mount. Zach's probably gonna look for a Ezekiel choke. Oh, maybe not. Best of a bad situation. He might have gotten armbarred. Instead, he turned back, gave up the mount, but he didn't get armbarred. Live to fight another day. Oh, that was just good advancement by Zach. Kirk on top, Chris on the bottom. Chris makes a good recovery. I don't know what Kirk is complaining about. Dude, you lost position, dog. Let's look at what Chris did right there. This is one of those things that I learned from Danaher DVD. The easiest wedge to get in between you and your opponent is that close side elbow. So what Chris is going to do, he's going to use the momentum of his legs to swing that way eventually and get his left elbow in. As he does that, I don't know whether Kirk meant to or not, or Chris meant to or not. Kirk went to go switch to base, which normally isn't a bad idea, but he got caught. His momentum got caught at the same time Chris decided to get that elbow in, so he's really heavy on this hip right now. Chris might be able to sit up from here. Good shrimps by Chris. Yeah, manages to get a frame inside. They're just talking smack to each other. Always good to have training rivals, even though they're your teammates, in the room. Kirk having a hard time keeping chest to chest. Chris doing a great job getting his frames in and getting to his side. Yeah, you see how Kirk is forced to compensate low on the body. He wants to be high. He wants to be on the head. What he is doing pretty well right now is he's got a pretty good solid connection with his left arm. Okay, this is a problem right here. Chris is karate chopping Kirk's neck. Even if Kirk wanted to, he couldn't get chest to chest at all. He is forced to stay in this upright hip switch position. And Chris has a good frame on the other side. Now Chris has to start to look to turn and get his bottom knee in and start escaping this position if he's got time. I don't think he does. Zach on top, Rick on the bottom. Zach looking to further isolate that elbow. Gets the wrist. Okay, Rick gets that second frame in. Now it's going to be tough. If I were Zach, I would try and switch all the way to north-south. Get those frames back out. Oh, my one-handed paper cutter choke. Zach's got to find a way around Rick's frames right now. Just tough. There we go. Switches north-south. Let's see if see the little movement gets the frames away. Kind of. Maybe not. I would. Oh, where'd the clicker go? Oh no, reset for some reason. Right from here. Oh wait. Yeah, I would start attacking this arm. It's kind of tough. No, I would do what Zach's doing. I would try to get this arm isolated. Oh, guess that's where it ends. I don't know who's on top right now. I think Zach's on the bottom. Okay, Aiden's on top, Zach's on the bottom. Aiden brought all his guns to bear on Zach's far arm. Oh, Zach's got that far frame. And oh, Aiden doing a good job switching. He might be able to isolate that arm. Beautiful transition. That was great. Let's look at what happened. He was losing that for a second because look, Zach's got that far frame in, but watch what Aiden does with his left arm. So he's got his left arm attacking Zach's wrist. He straightens it out, finds a gap, and walks his left knee through. Nice. Let's see if he's able to finish or advance from here. Really investing in that far arm. Good. Looks like he's looking for a high key lock. Oh, counter Kimura from the bottom from Zach. I think he's gonna get it. Nice. So let's look at what went wrong there. Aiden was doing pretty well. Okay, he lost control of Zach's far arm, as we can see here. So that's gonna allow Zach to turn into him and free this arm again. And from there, he's doing a good job controlling that wrist until, and again, Zach is exceptionally strong here, and he gets rolled right from here. That was nice. Got Rick on top and Zach on the bottom here. Oh, looking to advance and gets it. Yep, that's what I mean by sliding your knee over. Again, beginners will throw their knee over and get caught. No, you want to slide your knee over. Oh, easy isolation from here. That was great. Let's look at how we got that. Here. Yes, this grip is important. I don't know what this grip is called, but where you're pushing down your body here, not with your fingers on the inside of their wrist, not on top of their arm. I'm doing a horrible job explaining this, but it's much easier to push an object with this grip in mind as opposed to what you're probably going to have to settle for, which is if their hand, oh, this is tough to explain, it is on top of your thumb and forefinger, as opposed to right now. Oh no, I guess it's the same thing. Just if you can see this grip, try and get that grip. Much easier to push and therefore easier to isolate. So now Rick's got full isolation. Let's see if he can keep a pin and work it into a submission. So yep, steps over the leg. Probably go for a Kimura. Just do an armbar. Can't quite see what break he's applying. I'd like to see him attack the wrist a little bit more. I think he might just be giving Zach a chance to escape.